For this one, I've started off, I think, with a cadmium orange. Let's have a little looky. What did I use first? It'll be this one. Yeah, dark cadmium orange. Let's get this weird little broken pencil out. What else do we need for this? I kind of want to go with earthy tones, which is not usually something I do for sauropods because I'm vehemently against having to depict them in a dull way. But I'm just seeing. Maybe the greens. I'm not sure. I don't know. And then I'll grab what I think is Venetian red. Let's have a look. Venetian red. Okay. I found it really hard to be satisfied with the shape of this one. It is of course a Titanosaur. Titanosaurs, as they started appearing in the Cretaceous, like Colossosauria and that sort of branch, they have really distinct morphology. It's so fascinating to me, and I don't draw them enough. I was gonna say, they're massive. They were massive, yeah, obviously. Some of them weren't. Some Titanosaurs weren't massive. A little bit of a misleading name for them, but for the most part. What set them apart from previous sauropodomorphs, ones that came before them, is that they were quite large. Quite large. There we go. And though I don't think it is recorded in all Titanosaurs, there was a distinct lack of claw. So usually in a sauropod, you would have a front claw here. For a lot of the later Titanosaurs, they're essentially walking on. If you cut off here and they arrange them into columns and were walking like this. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, what I was saying before, it really makes me think about what they would have looked like if given more time. Time being millions of years, of course, but I think the sort of speculative evolution side, you can have a lot of fun with it, and I think I'd like to try and imagine what they could have looked like if perhaps they lived for another 5 to 10 million years. What would they have looked like? Some of them may have had scutes or armour. Saltosaurus is a good example of a titanosaur with osteoderms down the back. Alamosaurus is thought to have had sort of little spikes that go all the way down, but that's not confirmed, but quite a popular opinion in the paleontology world right now, and I think that's really cool. Just interesting things to think about and theorise. I always come from a more illustrative angle, and I enjoy when other people do as well. Also, I'm trying to give him a more prominent shoulder, which is something I don't usually do. I'm really focusing on the shape, sort of carve that in. I am happy mostly with the shape. Not 100%, but it's good for now. Need to kind of round these out. The back feet had nails that faced outwards. They curved outwards instead of just like elephantine. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Venetian red, I think. Sometimes the Venetian red feels as though it lays down a little bit chalky, a little bit too chalky for my liking, but sometimes when you start off with it as the base, it's nicer than layering it on top of other colours. I'm going to create a tiny little gap, very tiny. Maybe try that here as well, but it's not hugely important. Again, stylistic choice that I don't have to be consistent with. It's just something I'm trying. It works more for those pastel kind of drawings I was doing. If it doesn't work here, then it doesn't work, and we try something else, or we go back to what we were doing before. We being myself and the pencils. And of course I'm trying to, as they were almost hoof-shaped, arranged in columns, I'm trying to get that across down here, but it's hard. It can just get muddy. I don't know whether that's the Phoenician red, the particular pencil itself, not even the colour or what it's composed of. Maybe it's just a weird batch, but I found that some Venetian reds do tend to lay down in a bit of a funny way. That's fine. Again, we just we get on with it. Yes, it's almost blaming the tools, but when it produces little dark scratches of random sort of dark tones that are not part of this colour, it is a bit concerning, because you don't want that to sort of dig itself into the paper and then compromise the whole piece. That's kind of how I like to approach these big pieces. It's like do a base colour, go in with the darker colour, which won't necessarily be the darkest colour or the darkest tone that appears in the piece. It will just be a darker tone. And of course, for these fellas, it's so much easier, especially with the amount of detail that I want to get into them, to use a big long sketchbook, which is what you're seeing here. This is a Sea White of Brighton sketchbook. I mean, I call it panoramic. I think it might be listed as a panoramic sketchbook, but you'll have to double check. Either way, if you were to search this up online, it would be one of the only things that shows up. So it's not like you have to narrow it down. I almost want to introduce a blue-ish tone, but I'm not sure. Sure. Okay, right, so we've committed. I'm gonna put that one back and I'm gonna put that one back. We're going with Delft Blue. A newer pencil discovery for me. There's a lot of colours in this range that Faber-Castell do, and they can't include all of them because that would be ridiculous if they were to include them in a sort of a mainstream arts and crafts shop. That would be a lot of colours. Unless they were specialising in coloured pencils, why would they include every single colour you could possibly get in this range? So, after looking online, namely Jackson's Art Supplies, I was seeing all these new colour names pop up and I thought, oh, I've not tried that. The number of the colour, like for example, this one's Caput Mortem 263, places itself between two colours I've already got very nicely. And I thought, okay, why not? I'll give it a go, why not? I don't know what eye to do for this. Should we just go with that? Sure, I'll go with that for now. And if I want to change the style of it, I just feel like I do care and I don't care. It's not a huge deal. I put a lot of effort into drawing the eyes for all the other sauropods in volume 2, but really I don't care. I just want to get the whole, it's about the bigger picture. I want to get the whole thing across. Drawing brown, colouring in a sauropod with brown, and trying to go in with like duller colours, it makes me want to cry. Because if you know me, you know this is not what I want to do. But sometimes it's what you have to do. You've got to conform a little bit. I've never done... Jam just sent me these text messages, and it's obviously about something at work. And I think because I've missed the first text message, it's like the context is just out the window. The context is so far out the window, I don't know who this is about. Right. Well, that's something for me to check after this. That's so funny. This is my work break. This is what I'm using my work break for. More work. Stupid. It's really stupid. But I'm doing it because I care. And I think just because it's naturally what I do, it's almost like I need someone to confiscate my work laptop off of me. It's not good, guys. It's not good. I'd like to think that if in however many years' time I'll be doing this full time, I won't be overworking myself, but I can't even promise that. It's like I literally need someone to like snatch things off of me, lock them in a little vault, and until I've rested I can't grab my laptop or anything again. I don't really have a plan for this piece. Apart from the fact that I know it probably won't be like my definitive Futalognkosaurus piece. Is it called Lonknosauria? The family of Titanosaurs. It might actually be. I'll have to look that up. The way that's blended makes me actually feel sick. This is the kind of thing where it's so not smooth that I just want to go in straight away with a Holbein. But really, I should be leaving that until last. I shouldn't be feeling like I need to go in with the smoothening pencils. I like that. That's so cute. It does not show up on camera very well though. I can tell you that for now. Oh, but I love brightly coloured dinosaurs. I won't spend this video complaining about this. It's just that this is not my preference. Do I feel like I need to prove to someone that I can draw in this way? Maybe. Give him a little jawline though. I don't need to prove to anyone that I can draw proper. I know how to do this. Give him a little ear hole as well, why not? I mean, I don't know if the ear hole is there. It's probably vaguely there. It's not really what you want to hear someone saying when they're like trying to scientifically reconstruct. I'm joking, this is not a scientific reconstruction. This is just me being a little bit more accurate. That's all it is. Should I just go in with the cork? This is a new one I got, new Holbein cork. And I'm just gonna attempt to smooth it out. See, look at the improvement already. So much smoother, but then it requires you to sort of press a little bit harder so you can get that, you can work it right in there. It doesn't completely eradicate the warmth of the browns that I've used. I think you can actually see the features now. The features being a line for the mouth, a line for the nose, and a dot for the eye. Those strong, strong features. The scary bit is trying to go back in with Faber-Castell, because the more and more I use these pencils together, these two brands of pencils, the more I realise how different they are to each other. Like the ingredients, I suppose they're composed from. This is an earthy kind of toned burnt sienna Holbein. I think that'll play a part in this as well. I'm also using this a lot in my reconstruction of Brachytrachelopan. This is the thing as well. I don't want two of the sauropod species I draw to have like really similar colours. I want them to be distinct, but it does get to a point where you're like, I don't know what other colours I could possibly use to make this different. Other than going like neon or something, which I don't want to do, obviously. That's so hard to see on camera. Oh my god. Right, I'll do this and then I'll give you a bit of a close-up. And then I'll see what that text from Jam was about. Because colour me intrigued. Colour me bloody intrigued. And then, to be honest, going back with like the Delft blue, it's just so much nicer than outlining things in black all the time. I don't think I've outlined anything in black in a while. And that feels so nice because there's so many other colours you can use. So many dark tones of other things to use. Work a bit of that into there. Got to be careful though, because using Faber-Castells over the top of Holbein can sometimes disrupt the surface in a very weird way. You don't want that either. Even though this is meant to be a close-up shot, I will give you another even further close-up shot. I think that looks quite cute, even though it's not really showing up on camera very well. But there you go. So with this bit, I am just smoothing out this area. I think usually it's just best, these are sort of the predominant colours that I'm using, so I'm smoothing out this area. Oh! It'll be very subtle layers. You could probably slowly see it being covered more and more. Darken the spots. And then I've also used the Holbein cork to go around the sort of paper white areas here. So I'll do that in a sec as well. At this point, I don't know how long I've spent on this particular piece, but I'm really quite pleased with it. Feels like a good thing to end the year on. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I've introduced some brown ochre sort of around these sides, the legs, the neck. Blending kind of looks a bit murkier over here, but it's hard to tell on camera. But I can just go and tidy that up as well. Anything that looks kind of blendy, I mean murky, that's meant to be smoothly blended, you can always touch up a little bit. Usually for these bigger ones, I would take them through the scanner, and then I edit the sort of darkness, brightness levels until I'm happy with them, and then I make sure it's all how I want it. And nowadays take it into Procreate, and it's also good for cleaning up anything that got on the paper, like any specks of dust that are quite obvious, but also maybe if I put a colour down and it just didn't work, I can adjust that in Procreate. That's pretty good. Infinite colour resource is what Procreate is good for. I think we're nearing the end of this piece. There we go. Lovely. I haven't fit the end of the tail in. There we go. Yeah, with the end of the tail, I'm not doing too much to it. Just kind of making sure it's nice and sharp. Because if it's nice and sharp, I just added a bit of rough edge to it just there, ironically. If it's nice and sharp, as I was just saying, then I don't need to do much editing in post. There we go. Lovely. Yes, I think we're almost there. I've been using, I think I need more Holbein browns. I've been using the burnt umber that comes in the set of 24, I think it was. And that seems to be quite a nice shade that marries all the colours together. So yeah, I really like to use that. I've also been using this yellowy tone. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I will grab it. Let's grab it. It's, oh, it's sort of a yellowy browny tone. It's, no, it's not even that one. It's this one. It is yellow ochre. Predictable names, but yellow ochre. And that seems to bring back a warmth into the brown that it might have got removed when blending with cork and white and ivory. And I just bring that back into the piece, then go back over it until it's sort of a blend that I'm happy with. It often would turn out that after finishing filming these kinds of pieces, I end up just doing random touch-ups to it anyway. For the most part, filming this piece, I am pleased with what I've shown you. So I think I'll quickly fill in these bits and then I'll probably end it there. See if I can get a close-up shot of me doing this. Let's have a look. So essentially I'm just taking the cork colour and filling in around here. And I feel like this shade, like sort of without minimal under drawing or under colouring, really complements the colours overall of the Futalognkosaurus quite well. that I've chosen. This might work. It seems like it'll work. Suspiciously stable. We will see.